In the period leading up to 1906, there were a lot of earthquakes and knowledge of them was incomplete. They were part of daily life at the turn of the century. Then came the big one. On April 18, 1906, waking people from their sleep at 5:12 a.m., the earth shook for 1 minute and the end result was devastating. A crack in the earth 300 miles long launched a serious study of earthquakes and geology of California. A team of scientists puzzled by the length of the rupture fanned out across the California landscape to record what had happened, covering hundreds of miles on foot and horseback, measuring the offsets of roads, rows of trees, and fences. They mapped the San Andreas Fault and the slices along 800 miles of coastal California. Scientists relied largely on the landscape to draw conclusions of the underlying geology. Over time, pressure builds up along the fault, and eventually the pressure builds up along the fault. And eventually the pressure becomes so great that a breaking point is reached. All the accumulated pressure is released, generating seismic waves that radiate out from that breaking point, like ripples on a pond. The Point Reyes Peninsula has traveled over 100 miles northward along the fault over millions of years from the cumulative effect of countless earthquakes and gradual plate movement along the San Andreas Fault. The Point Reyes National Seashore is one of the best places to see the fault and the impact of the 1906 earthquake. The peninsula itself was jotted northwest about 20 feet. The Point Reyes station train was ready to head for San Francisco when the train gave a big lurch to the east, followed by another to the west, which threw the whole train on its side. Reportedly, Countess Matilda fell into the fault crack head first, then closed up on her, leaving only her tail sticking up through the crack, and then dogs came along and ate her tail. This was a tall tale that many believed, when in reality Matilda had died of natural causes and the owner needed a place to bury her. Along came the earthquake and the big crack along the fault. The owner dragged the dead Matilda over and tipped her in. Today you can hike the earthquake trail at Point Reyes and get a glimpse of the destruction that the 1906 earthquake left behind. It takes you a blue post in the hillside marked precisely the location of the fault. At the end of the post is a fence which displaced, showing a gap, one end 18 feet to the north of the other end. Decades passed before plate tectonic theory emerged to explain movement of earthquakes, but reports from the scientists in 1908 led to the recognition the effect underground geology had on the extent of devastating. It gave birth to modern earthquake science.